The episode opens with Ant-Man sneaking into an office building by shrinking himself. Despite the office looking ordinary and nothing being out of place, Ant-Man refuses to brush off the distress call he had received earlier and starts looking around. This is when he notices a strange-looking drone flying nearby, scanning the area for any threats. Somehow, he manages to remain undetected and hides behind a penholder before reaching out to his friends. When Vision answers his call, he informs the Avengers that he is attending a distress call that came from the office, but has not found anything suspicious yet. Hearing this, Vision asks him if he needs any assistance, but Ant-Man, who is confident in his skills, assures his friend that he has everything under control. Soon after, he jumps inside the penholder and finds a strand of hair and picks it up, knowing that he might find it useful when running a DNA scan to find who called him for help. Then he jumps into the air vent and finds himself on the other side of the office. He notices several cameras in the hallway, but uses his powers to expand his cell phone, setting the hallway's picture as a backdrop. This allows him to move about freely and continue with his investigation without alerting anyone. He enters a control room and disables the security system, despite being impressed by how good it is. Not long after that, he finds himself in another office and turns on his torch to look around. When he notices an old world map and a Black Panther statue, he realizes that everything in the office has come from Wakanda. Just as he turns around, he notices Black Panther standing behind him. He quickly jumps to explain himself, claiming that someone has stolen stuff from Wakanda and is storing it in this building. To his surprise, Black Panther tells him that they are standing in a top-secret Wakandan facility that is guarded by their most advanced security system. He then asks Ant-Man how he managed to break in. Before he can give the superhero an answer, they hear beeping sounds coming from Ant-Man's radar. They realize that the building has been rigged with explosives. With no time to react, the explosives go off, with Ant-Man and Black Panther barely escaping uninjured. As soon as they land safely on the ground, Black Panther announces that they need to head to Wakanda as their national security has been breached. On the jet, Ant-Man tries to apologize to Black Panther for breaching his security. He tries to defend himself by saying that he had no idea that he was being set up. Angry, Black Panther replies by saying that whoever made the fake distress call was using Ant-Man's skills. Once again, Ant-Man apologizes, claiming that his days of being a thief are over and that he was only trying to do his duty as a superhero. Hearing this, Black Panther accepts his apology but tells him that they cannot go back to the Avengers Mansion since whoever is after them is targeting Wakanda as well. Not long after that, they reach Wakanda, where he reports that there have been no intruders at the Wakandan borders, claiming that if they hurry, they might be able to prevent his mistake from becoming a disaster. Just then, he notices one of his weapons aimed at Ant-Man. He manages to save Ant-Man, and the two of them take down all of the weapons as they realize that they are being controlled by someone else. Once they successfully take down all the weapons, they hear someone clapping behind them. To Black Panther's surprise, it turns out to be Baron Zemo. When Ant-Man asks him who he is, Black Panther reveals that Baron's father once tried to infiltrate Wakanda while his father, T'Chaka, was ruling. However, his attempt failed, and he was taken down. Hearing this, Baron begins laughing and claims that he is different than his father. With Ant-Man's help, he has managed to infiltrate Wakanda's security system. This is when they notice Wakanda's security drones behind Zemo that are under his control. As he makes his way towards the city, both Ant-Man and Black Panther follow him, trying to take down the drones before they can cause destruction in the city. Black Panther tells the civilians to run towards the hills, safe from the drones. Meanwhile, both of the superheroes team up to take the drones down. Despite them being his own invention, Black Panther claims that they were due for an upgrade and needed to be taken down anyway. As they separate again to take down the rest of the drones, Ant-Man finds himself surrounded by 3 drones that begin to electrocute him. Black Panther calls out to Ant-Man, but is unable to reach him as he finds himself surrounded as well. Knowing that he needs to act fast, Ant-Man calls his air cavalry and manages to free himself. At the same time, Black Panther destroys the drones surrounding him and joins Ant-Man to take down one last drone, which he claims is the toughest one. Ant-Man shrinks himself and jumps on top of the drone with Black Panther's help. He then jumps inside the drone before destroying it from the inside. They then quickly head to the palace, where Black Panther reports that all of their security systems are offline, and Baron Zemo has managed to evade the Dora Milaje, the team of women who serve as his special forces. Ant-Man wonders what Baron Zemo could want from Wakanda. This is when Black Panther reveals that his palace is filled with rare vibranium that is highly sought after. At that moment, 2 of Black Panther's men arrive to tell him of an attack. Ant-Man joins them at the site of attack, where he notices a large gate with a hole in the middle. Black Panther leads Ant-Man inside the gates, leading them into a cave. He reveals that the new Wakandan palace is built on the ruins of the old one, which was made over their original vibranium mines. The mines that his father had forbidden anyone from entering and marked the area as off-limits. Curious, Ant-Man asks him what his father was hiding in the mines, but Black Panther replies by saying that his father did not give that secret up. With this, the 2 of them begin to head deeper into the cave. But Black Panther warns Ant-Man that, although ancient, the area is lined with traps to keep everyone away. Just then, a large saw swings past them, but Black Panther's quick wit saves the day. Seeing how dangerous the traps are, Ant-Man begins to wonder what Baron's father wanted so badly. Before he can get any answers, they enter a smaller cave that he realizes is lined with more traps. He manages to dodge one trap, but slips into another one. Somehow he remains safe, but asks Black Panther if he is sure that the traps are ancient, since the technology used seems cutting edge. However, instead of responding, Black Panther leads him deeper into the cave until they arrive at a lake. Black Panther recalls a Wakandan folktale and tells Ant-Man to follow him as he jumps into the water. The 2 of them swim to the other side of the cave until they find themselves in front of a giant crocodile statue. Confused, he wonders how Baron Zemo was able to get past all of the traps. All of a sudden, they hear Baron Zemo behind them, who appears out of the water with a gun pointed at them. He laughs at their expense, claiming that he simply had to follow the 2 of them to make sure that they disarmed all of the traps for him. He then walks towards the statue and pushes a brick, causing the statue to open up. As Black Panther realizes what Baron is after, he tells Ant-Man that the amulet of the crocodile spirit was only supposed to be a myth. Baron reveals that decades ago their fathers fought over the same amulet. However, it was so strong and powerful that they had to work together to overcome the amulet with the power of the Wakandan and an outsider combined. This is surprising for Black Panther to hear since his father never shared anything with him. Baron Zemo goes on to tell him that their fathers had come to a truce and left the amulet behind in hopes that it would not be used again. Black Panther tries to reason with him, telling him that the amulet will feed off his desire for power and become hard to control. However, Baron is convinced that he is much stronger than his father and that he will be able to harness its power. Ant-Man decides to interrupt the 2 of them by telling Baron that he had not thanked him for removing all obstacles and bringing him into the cave. To express his gratitude, Baron points his gun at Ant-Man, but before he can shoot him, the superhero shrinks himself, giving Black Panther the chance to attack him. As Baron falls to the ground, Ant-Man jumps in and grabs the amulet. Despite this, Baron remains determined to take the amulet back and uses his sword to grab it from Ant-Man's hands. As he wears it around his neck, the amulet begins to glow and emits a green light, just as Baron grows in size. Black Panther tells Ant-Man that the spirit of the crocodile has taken over Baron's mind and body, bringing forward the worst parts of him. Baron smashes through the cave's roof and bursts into the Wakandan streets, where he begins to wreak havoc. Black Panther turns to Ant-Man and tells him that he could take Baron on since he could once grow to a giant size. However, Ant-Man claims that he does not do that anymore, as things can get bad fast. Instead, he comes up with another plan and tells Black Panther to distract Barson while he shrinks his size and steals the amulet while remaining undetected. Black Panther jumps on top of Baron and tries his best to take him down. At the same time, Ant-Man shrinks his size and jumps on Barson as well. As he tries to snatch the amulet from around his neck, Baron notices him and immediately goes to attack him. He manages to dodge the attack and hides behind a rock with Black Panther. Behind them, Baron begins to scream in agony as green lightning surrounds him. Black Panther tells Ant-Man that several energies are building inside Baron, and if he is unable to control them, he could combust, taking the entire city down with him. Once again, he begs Ant-Man to try and turn into a giant again so that he can match Baron's size and take him down. While Ant-Man tries to figure out what to do, Black Panther tries to tell Baron to give up, claiming that he alone cannot control the amulet's power. Despite this, Baron remains overconfident that he is strong enough to handle whatever the amulet throws his way. Knowing that they don't have much of a choice, Ant-Man turns himself into a giant and punches an unsuspecting Baron, knocking him down. As the two of them get into a fight, Baron manages to land a punch that knocks Ant-Man down. Just as he is beginning to question himself, Black Panther comes to his rescue and tells him that he has to push through. Somehow, Ant-Man musters up the courage to take Baron on again. As he cages him in, Black Panther jumps on top of Baron and tries to break the amulet, only to realize that he, a Wakandan, and Ant-Man, an outsider, need to work together in order to take him down. He encourages Ant-Man to grab the amulet while he pulls at the strings. To their surprise, the amulet breaks off, and the spirit of the crocodile leaves Baron, causing him to shrink back to his original size. With Baron arrested, Black Panther reports back to the Avengers and gives Vision all of the updates, claiming that he is not going to be keeping any more secrets. Meanwhile, Ant-Man hides the amulet away from sight so that no one can get their hands on the evil amulet ever again. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.